These three girls all came from the Philippines to marry guys in China. The pregnant one's my wife. That one's got a kid already too. At this rate, our whole village will end up with Filipino wives. We've got four already, and another guy's in the works. He's heading to the Philippines this Christmas to marry his girl and bring her back. In August, a farmer vlogger from western Guangdong revealed that a Filipino woman had married into his village. She's been living in China for 7 to 8 years and is now raising two children. At this rate, the whole village is going to end up with Filipino wives. In a separate video, a vlogger addressed questions from internet users about marrying Filipino women. A ton of folks online keep asking, won't those Filipino wives just take off? Let me tell you straight, they won't. Why is that funny? Because in the Philippines, divorce isn't a thing. They've got marriage certificates, but no divorce papers. So, how do you even get divorced? Some people also ask, if you don't speak the same language, how do you talk? Simple, we use WeChat. It's got auto-translate, so chatting's a breeze. No issues there. But here's the real kicker. The worry isn't her running off. It's if you ever want out. Good luck. Divorce isn't happening. Philippine law doesn't allow it. You get a marriage certificate. That's valid everywhere. And you're locked in. Can't undo it. Not even in China. That certificate's on record worldwide, showing you're hitched. Try marrying someone else? That's bigamy, and it's a crime. So, marry a Filipino girl, and you'll never stress about her leaving. The video triggered widespread online engagement. Viewers from Guangdong, Guangxi, Zhejiang, and other regions commented, asking the vlogger to introduce them to Filipino brides. One user commented, marrying a Filipino wife is a great deal. Chinese wives often avoid cleaning and expect financial support, while a Filipino wife doubles as a housekeeper. Another user wrote, hello handsome, finding your video feels like fate. I'm from Yangjiang. Can you introduce Filipino girls to my sons? Both are unmarried. Other comments included, the bride price for a Filipino wife is around 10,000 yuan. Only the paperwork costs are high. And, hello handsome, I'm from Huazhou. Can you introduce someone? My brother is 34 and still single. Another user praised, Filipino girls are more considerate than Chinese girls. They're tidy, diligent, and attractive. I recommend finding a wife in the Philippines. In recent years, Chinese social media discussions about rural men marrying foreign brides have intensified. A growing gender imbalance in rural areas with more single men drives this trend. Women from Vietnam and the Philippines are increasingly viewed as a solution to this social challenge. Young people in mainland China face intense economic pressures, and marriage often requires a costly bride price, a house, and a car. Many young men, especially those born in the 1980s and 1990s, find marriage unattainable and express skepticism about love. A vlogger explained that unlike China's demands for a high bride price, a house, and a car, marrying a Filipino bride is straightforward. If she likes you, a meal, a ring, and a pass are enough to get married. This contrast makes Filipino brides highly appealing to single Chinese men. A vlogger showcased several Filipino wives living in her village.
Whoa,
guys, look who showed up at our shop tonight. These friends are all from the Philippines. So, how many of you are Filipino? 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, 4 of them. But maybe they don't speak much Chinese. Anyone here who speaks Chinese?
She knows a little bit, just a little. I married a Filipino gal, and we're living out in the countryside. She keeps saying it's boring at our place. Same old, nothing going on. But isn't that just rural life? She says she's not happy, but we've been here for decades, making our own joy. You've got to find happiness in the countryside too, right? So, I take her shopping to perk her up. A Chinese vlogger has issued a reminder, warning men who are rushing to the Philippines in search of wives to be cautious as the reality is far more complex.
Lately, I've seen too many Chinese guys online envying the idea of marrying a Filipino girl. They say Chinese women ask for a car, a house, a bride price, but Filipino girls don't ask for anything. They are hardworking too. Don't get fooled by the hype. Let's be real for a second. Sure, some of them are mixed-race beauties, but others are single mums who had to grow up fast. Some might see marrying a Chinese man as a way to move up in life, but others may just want you to support their entire family, and they will drain you dry.
The vlogger noted that abortion is illegal in the Philippines, leading many young women from poor families to become single mothers at a young age. Still children themselves, they must raise their own, driving them to seek financial stability. They are often hardworking, diligent, and keep the home spotless. However, some may expect support for their entire families. In rare cases, men marrying Filipino women have been deceived, losing both money and marriage. Some social media users recommend marrying Vietnamese women. One user commented, "Filipino wives don't seem very attractive. For your village's sake, consider a Vietnamese wife. Vietnamese girls are prettier." Another countered, "Vietnamese women aren't dependable. I want a partner for life, not just beauty. Someone too attractive feels less trustworthy." In recent years, many Chinese men have married Vietnamese women, with some proudly showcasing their attractive partners on social media. "I didn't spend a single cent back then and still managed to bring home a Vietnamese wife. She's 15 years younger than me." One vlogger shared his story. After a divorce, he moved to Vietnam to start a business. Just as he began to make money, he was scammed by a new girlfriend. It was during his lowest point that his current wife chose to be with him. But not all experiences are so positive. "I really regret marrying my Vietnamese wife. Honestly, poor folks like us just aren't cut out for international marriages." Hey everyone, I'm Ah Liang, living in Vietnam. Today, I'm breaking down the headaches of cross-border marriages, hoping you'll hear me out and maybe avoid some pitfalls. First off, if you settle in China, your wife can't work there legally. Buying insurance? Nope. A green card? Forget it. That's even tougher, unless you've got your own business to employ her, but that's rare. Once kids come, the pressure's on. You're footing nearly all the family bills alone. Truth is, most Vietnamese women, about 80%, marry into China to escape poverty back home. They're banking on a better life with you, not more hardship. After a while in China, they'll miss home. Even one yearly visit means a month away, with visas, flights, and other costs piling up. You can't roll up empty-handed either. Gifts for her family are a must, and how much depends on your wallet. If her family is really struggling, she might even send them money every month. The vlogger noted that family background matters significantly. If the husband's financial situation is too strained, the wife may leave, leading to both financial and emotional loss. He also highlighted cultural challenges, including language, diet, customs, and beliefs, which differ greatly between the two countries and require time to navigate. Living in Vietnam, as he does, may ease these adjustments slightly. Please, don't just casually marry a Vietnamese wife. That's advice from someone who's been through it. A Sichuan vlogger shared his experience marrying his Vietnamese girlfriend. Now with a 1-month-old baby, he faces several challenges. First, the lifestyle differs, especially diets, as Vietnamese cuisine requires ingredients only available online via Pinduoduo. Fortunately, his wife cooks well, which he says is critical to avoid bigger issues. Communication is limited to basic exchanges due to language differences. Frequent cross-border visits to her family are costly, adding financial strain. Post-marriage pressures have left him physically and mentally exhausted. A Vietnamese woman cautioned Chinese men against paying brokers for marriages. She advised meeting someone naturally while traveling in Vietnam, emphasizing that such relationships are more likely to endure.
Chinese men, stop coming to Vietnam just to find wives. You think we are poor, so you can just spend a little money and buy a wife? If you can't find a wife in China, do you really think you can get one in Vietnam? People always say Vietnam is poor. Don't forget, it's 2025 for us too. The things you see, we see as well. You use iPhones, we use iPhones too. If you can't afford to support a family in China, how can you in Vietnam? People accuse Vietnamese girls of marriage scams, but that's because you are trying to buy a wife with money. That's not how it works. In Vietnam, you don't need to pay to find a wife. You come here, travel, meet people, fall in love. That's how a real relationship forms. Marriage doesn't cost money, but if you try to buy a wife, of course you will get scammed. If you really want to marry a Vietnamese woman, you need to understand our culture. Take it slow, don't rush. Back then, I ignored my parents' objections and married into rural China. Do I regret it now?
A Vietnamese woman married to a man in rural China posted a video online of herself cutting grass in the fields. When it spread on Vietnamese social media, the comments were harsh, questioning why others in China live in apartments and drive cars while she married into poverty. Many recalled warning her against moving to China and now mock her daily struggles, suggesting she'd be better off back home. She admitted ignoring her parents' objections to marry in China. Though some assume she regrets it, she says she feels no regret. Another Vietnamese woman commented, "I've lived in Anhui, China for 14 years since marrying. My husband passed away over 3 years ago, leaving me to raise our children alone. Life in China is highly stressful and exhausting." China affairs expert Yue Shan noted that discussions about marrying Vietnamese or Filipino women often focus on material benefits. However, many foreign women marry into China out of necessity. Under Communist Party rule, China lacks religious and press freedoms, and corruption is widespread. Vietnam, by contrast, avoided events like the Cultural Revolution enjoys greater online freedom and has a rising economy, while China's declines. The Philippines also offers a freer society. These women, he said, are entering a less free country. Since the Russia-Ukraine war began, more Chinese men have married women from Russia and Ukraine. My wife's whipping up some pickled cucumber for a Ukrainian cold dish to share. She's in the kitchen now, cooking something. Don't know if it's lunch or dinner, but whatever, as long as she's happy. The way she cuts veggies is totally different from how we do it back home. In Ukraine, they don't use big kitchen knives, just these tiny ones. Another vlogger filmed himself preparing to head to the train station with flowers to welcome his Ukrainian wife back from a vacation abroad. Today's a big day. My wife's coming home. I'm gonna hop in the shower, throw on some fresh clothes, grab some flowers, and head to the train station to pick her up. She's been off on an overseas vacation for about a month now. A man from rural Henan confessed that he has little money, yet his Ukrainian wife still crossed thousands of miles to marry him without hesitation. A couple days ago, an auntie told Irina that with her looks, she could have landed a way better catch, but here she is with me, no car, no house, no bride price, just living out in the countryside. What's she even getting out of this? The vlogger shared that his wife believes true love is all that really matters. He described finding her as the greatest blessing of his life. In Gansu, another vlogger shared a rainy day video of himself and his Russian wife cooking together in their countryside home.
Honey, let me do it. Let me do it.
A viral video captured a Chinese man's traditional wedding ceremony with his foreign bride. China also has many single women. Official statistics show over 240 million single adults, including about 116 million women. Notably, about 80% of these women chose to stay single. Most are post-1990s, well-educated, and financially independent, living in cities. In contrast, single men are mostly in rural areas or lower-tier urban jobs. Some women want to marry but struggle to find partners. Commenting on the trend of Chinese men marrying foreign women, a Guangdong woman born in 1989 posted, "I still can't find a husband, yet you're marrying foreign women?" Since the late 1970s, China's one-child policy led to forced abortions and significant population losses. Until 2013, the government enforced strict family planning, intending to maintain the one-child rule. Influenced by traditional son preference, many families sought illegal gender tests at underground clinics, aborting female fetuses. In poor rural areas, without such access, some people even abandoned their baby girls. This contributed to China's severe gender imbalance, with far more men than women. The two-child policy began in 2015, but birth rates barely rose. By 2020, annual births fell to around 10 million, a post-1949 low. On May 31, 2021, a three-child policy was introduced, followed by pro-birth measures, but these have had little impact. China's demographic imbalance is a key cause of the bachelor crisis. The 2020 census showed 34.9 million more men than women, meaning millions of men may never marry. Marriage rates in China are plummeting, especially in rural areas with many older, unmarried men. More concerning, China's 2023 fertility rate was 1.0, the second lowest globally. In early 2024, Xiamen University economics professor Ding Chafa suggested allowing international marriages to address a rural bachelor crisis by bringing in eligible women from overseas. Many single Chinese men, especially in rural areas, see foreign brides as less demanding, requiring no house, car, or high bride price. They view Southeast Asian women as hard-working and family-oriented, making them ideal marriage partners. Cross-border marriages reflect only one aspect of China's marriage and fertility challenges. With a stagnant economy and rising job insecurity, many young people struggle to survive, choosing not to marry, further driving down marriage rates. On December 28, 2023, the China Population and Employment Statistical Yearbook reported that in 2022, 51.3% of adults aged 25 to 29 were unmarried, 18.4% of those aged 30 to 34, and 8% of those aged 35 to 39.